This is an AI agent and it runs 24/7 on its own server, has its own Solana wallet, and trades Meteora DLMMs completely autonomously. This agent is always on and it wakes up, reviews the market, and decides on its own where to provide liquidity and how. But the key thing is, it's not guessing its positions. It's already scored over 1,000 wallets, which have made tens of thousands of positions, and is using all of this data to decide which pools are good to enter and running a bunch of custom safety checks, which I'm constantly adding to develop this agent. And in this video, I will show you how I've set this up currently and how it's able to do what it's doing. So if you've used the Meteora DLMMs before, you know that they are one of the highest yielding methods in all of crypto, not even just Solana, and they have been for a while, over 2 years. Trading is very, very tough right now, but by providing liquidity, you can still, even in the current bear market, still make a profit. But of course, it is very tough. I'm looking at the top performers right now, a lot of coins, but you know, the market changes very rapidly. It's very difficult to follow what's happening and to be able to be consistent. And that is where using a lot of these agentic workflows, we can aid our current research, or we can even have it enter for us. But this is more of kind of an experiment. This doesn't replace my normal DLMMing. Obviously, I still do that. This thing is definitely not as good as any, good LPer. You still need to be able to do it yourself and have the fundamentals. But that is exactly where these agents can help. What if instead of, you manually looking at a pool, you manually looking at who's in the pool, what positions people are doing, you could have an agent which learns, it adapts and absorbs all this data in a very short amount of time and allows you to very quickly decide on what you want to do in a pool. It can aid you, it can enter for you, as I said. It can just speed up the entire process and hopefully make you more profitable. And this is what I asked myself and what I built. And what I wanted to see is if instead of, manually doing it, if I could have, I've got all the data in my platform. We've got a lot of wallets. We're getting the live feed of what a lot of these wallets, the positions they do when they enter. If I take this data, can my AI agent make smart entry decisions and make profit? So this is exactly how it works. So some others have set up a very cool system who is Yuns and Mining Helium, who you might have seen on Twitter with a lot of posts about a very cool AI agent system they've made called Meridian. And that kind of inspired me to do this. And I'm using my platform, right? And the only reason is we've got a lot of data already. We've started using the LP agent API, which is really powerful. And what it allows me to do is pull the top 10 hot pools from the last 24 hours. And these are done by a Dune query rich ones. What it does is it gets these are just the top based on 24-hour fees. You could customize it, say, only the top new pools, which are from the last 24 hours. You can see we've got punch and pump in there. Maybe we don't want those. Or we could customize it as well, saying we only want pools which are old pools. But for now, it's just, we've got this. And inside these, I've got the top people that made profit from these particular pools. We can see their individual permissions. Obviously go and check out their full history if you want to click on the wallet or an LP agent or track. But what we do is we've got 10 pools. We've got the top 50 wallets. And this is a lot of wallets. Obviously a lot of people in multiple. That is why we have cross pools, people that are in multiple of these. And all of this eventually feeds into our wallet intelligence algorithm, which is where we're scoring the wallets we found here and a few from previous days based on some criteria for how good they would be for my AI agent to look at this information when it's deciding to make a trade. And there's a few measures I've gone into to try and do this score, and it's not perfect. We're very far from perfect. To be honest, I haven't even fully looked into it. But in short, what it's based off is we don't want people that are, have like 50 positions open at a time. And I don't want people that are on the opposite side, entering very frequently every like 5 minutes. People that don't enter too much each day. They're kind of thoughtful with their trades, maybe maxed out at like 30 positions a day, entering and exiting. Generally, they only enter 1 or 2 pools at a time. Their position size isn't huge. So their daily or monthly profitability is decent, but we look at that daily and weekly profitability and monthly. Their drawdowns and all their gains are not huge either way either. So they're, fairly consistent. And what that does is it builds a database like this. And if I click, I'll click over to LP Agent, but I can expand, and you can actually see, you can see this person is very, pretty consistent. We've got some rankings here. I believe I'm changing the weightings right now. And I don't have a proper full algorithm. This is just custom with what I made. But you can also see I have a few very new wallets on here as well, scored pretty highly. I think this will be deranked when I next run because, fresh wallets are dangerous. But we've just got a bunch of these, and using all this, we get a bunch of wallets. It's not scanning all 1,000 every day. It's, only doing like 300. So some do get a bit stale, but we build up this library. And as you know, my app has the live webhooks where you can have your own dashboard for your manual trading to help you make decisions. But my agent has its own dashboard with these top wallets, and it watches all the trades that come through, and it uses this information to decide its trades. But as I said, it is only the top wallets I'm looking at. So I'm not looking at thousands of trades happening, every hour. And the final stage is when, one or multiple enter a pool. This is when the pool safety checks happen, and where we kind of look at some other APIs that we've got. We look at the token risk using Meteora to get some data as well. The pool consensus, how many of these guys are in, what kind of strategies, and then we try and formulate, how it should enter. And this probably sounds amazing, but to be honest, at the moment, it's had very average results. It's very difficult actually getting it all working to be as optimal as possible. But I actually just made this document and it wrote it up. I think I can make it interactive, but it's basically saying how instead of just copy trading, it's basically agentically entering positions, just trying to use all of the data it can get. And this, I guess, is my current, it's fixed weighting, nothing too special, and, nothing too crazy. And then the pre-safety check and kind of the amount of wallets that I'm currently kind of helping to decide the trades right now. And what this all leads to is, in a Telegram chat, I have it connected so that I have, on my VPS, I have Claude Code, and it has access to, all the data, and it can grab any data it wants. So if I ask any questions, it can get that summary, but it's also got, instructions on LP Agent API, on GMGN, on OKX, and all of this. So it can pull me data about pools, about who's currently in the pool and the wallets and strategies, but also from our database as well. And it can, give me a summary if there's wallets we should add to our list or we should remove to help inform the decisions as well. And this is an example of a trade actually entered, and you can see some of the details with the scores and some calculations. To be honest, I've not dove into them enough. I'm still trying to tune it and get it all working as best as possible. But it does, does this every trade, gives a summary before, and then, every few hours I get kind of a summary of, what it thought of that time period as well. So what has the performance actually been like? As you saw from the screenshot earlier, we're on about 5 Solana right now. We did start at 4 Solana, up about 1 Solana. It is a bit less here, but I think the gains are a bit higher. You can see though some very small losses the last 3 days. But I was still tuning it. It started doing like one-sided token positions like around here, and I had to, right here, and I basically had to say no, we're only doing Solana sided to be a bit safer. And on these 2 days as well, we were actually a lot more losses and actually had to claw back some of the gains. But early on had some, I guess, a bit lucky, some wins. But there's really not too much to look at with the trades. It's all spot and bid ask, mostly not too wide, mostly kind of only minus 50% max. Right now, only Solana sided. It would take a while before, if we decide to do token sided, but you can see my win rate has started to fall a bit as well from this. But I do believe we can get this in the green and profitable again, or even more profitable, because going from 4 to 5 in all reality is not too bad. That is a 20% portfolio increase. But of course, with this very low balance, you do have to be quite aggressive. That's pretty much all of it and where I've got to so far. Has got me thinking as well, even on this dashboard page, you know, I could add another layer which kind of does this analysis for people. I don't know exactly how that could work or, you know, how much it would cost me. But, you know, there's a lot of possibilities by using this kind of stuff, and it can help speed up a lot of things. But there is another option available, and maybe, you know, if enough people care, I can show the setup of this. But Yuns made this bot called Meridian, which basically, it works differently, but you know, you can connect any model to it, and it fully autonomously manages your trades. And Mining Helium's also been making a lot of contributions and forks of it, adding, you know, zap in, zap out to it, adding a bunch of custom commands you can do, you know, strategy libraries, a lot of crazy stuff. Maybe I need to check this out and try implementing more of it as well. But a lot of cool stuff right here as well.